Hello, I'm Gemma Wilkes and welcome to episode 2 of Wheel Women podcast. I was really fortunate a few weeks ago to be able to race a cyclocross race, and I grabbed Lindy Brazier-Larkin afterwards for a quick chat. Lindy has won the Wessex Cyclo-cross League for the last couple of years, as well as riding the Cyclo-cross National Championships. But she's also got some great comments in this interview about getting into cycling, info for newbies, for people who maybe haven't tried competitions and things. So hopefully, whilst she's rather a superstar, the interview will hopefully appeal to lots of people. It was a rather windy location, so the audio's not fabulous, but there's lots of atmosphere, which hopefully you'll appreciate, particularly if you're watching the video version. It had also been quite an early start, so the kids could race, and I had the kids behind me in the van because the husband was racing after my race. So it's not the cinematic masterpiece that I would hope for, but hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
So, could you tell me who you are and a little bit about yourself, please?
I'm Lindy Brazier-Larkin. I'm a general practice nurse from Swindon, and I started racing cyclocross 5 years ago when my husband David, started racing. He used to ride his bike when he was younger, and we needed a hobby and we wanted something to do together. We did the running thing, that was fun, but we wanted something else. And he started just riding bike as normal up on the Ridgeway. We're quite close to the Ridgeway. And he found cyclocross online and said, "This looks ridiculous, let's go and try it." So he loved it and said, "I think you're going to have to try this as well. I think you'll absolutely love it." Raced in Swindon, and there was a race in Swindon, and that was it. I was hooked, and actually wasn't too bad at it. Considering I've never really cycled before, we went straight into the Wessex League, and we still race within the Wessex League. And we sort of haven't looked back these last few years, really.
And did you ride your bike before you got into cyclocross? Were you a cyclist?
I wasn't a cyclist before cyclocross, no. I used to ride my bike to work because fitness, trying to be good for the environment. So I had a little hybrid that I bought with my first wage packet when I qualified. And apart from going up on the Ridgeway or just around the local parks, no, not at all. I had then bought a little road bike again because it was a little bit faster. But the thought of racing road frightened the life out of me. So I said, no, let's do something else, which is why cyclocross was perfect, absolutely perfect for us. But no, I wasn't really a cyclist before. I basically jumped in at the deep end with my husband, really. Like I said, we wanted to find a joint hobby together and actually spend our weekends together. And that meant, trying racing out.
That's great, because I think so many people, it's the husband or the man that gets into it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the woman sort of just drags along behind.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happens very much with you guys, I would not assume.
No, very much. And it tends to be, I suppose, we all race. I know we've spoken before, about having that competitive nature, and I've always been into sports, and I really, if I try something, I want to do it well, and I try my best always. And when David said, "Oh, I think you'll like it," I think he knew that that whole competitive side of me would go for it. And after he said, actually, I think you're the one that's going to be really into this, maybe a lot more than sort of I am. And we've both spent the years coming together, and I don't know, it's just so fun. It's just such a welcoming environment, whether you're male or female. And I didn't have that hostility from anyone when I first came, because like you say, if husbands are in and they're racing, I think initially women are a little bit cautious of, is it a men's racing, dominant? But it's not here. Everyone, you think how big our fields are. I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I've never been put off. And there's actually races where he doesn't race, but I'll race. Like today, prime example, David didn't want to race today, but I have. And he still comes along and encourages me to carry on racing.
And you raced across when we had a mixed race and now women's only race. How did you find that transition?
I loved it, if I'm honest. It was really good. I mean, I know I've spoke to other women that haven't raced before, and obviously friends and family that don't normally ride a bike, but they know that we race, and they often say that they wouldn't do a race if it was a mixed race. And it's not, you would try and sort of, initially I was saying it's not bad racing with the men. They're really, really good group here, as long as you move out the way for them, it's fine. But I think it's a lot more encouraging now when it's solely women. I know that when we go past people go past us, everyone's encouraging. It's great. I really, really enjoy it. It's a bit more empowering for us because we have our own start. We're not gridded behind anyone. It's quite nice to not be a second thought, and I think I'm really, really glad that they did it. The numbers are really, really big in the league now, and I don't know whether that is because we've now got our own race. I know a lot of other leagues are trying it as well, and I'm all for it, really, definitely. It's good fun.
Other than that, do you think there's parity in cyclocross across men and women?
All depends, I guess. We've raced in other leagues in other places, and I think there's some I can't think of the word that I'm trying to say. There's some hostility, I guess, sometimes that, women should do what they want, shouldn't race. Some people, we don't try as hard, we don't race for as long, and therefore we shouldn't be as equal as the men here. But when we were in the mixed races, I didn't feel that, like the other side of it, I didn't feel that there was a difference between us racing against the Vet 50s at all. We raced for the same time, we did the same course. I think it all depends on what discipline. I have done a couple of road races actually, looking back, and it wasn't quite the same. I found a little bit. I didn't feel at ease when I was there, and people were judging people based on what kit you were riding, how long have you been racing for, and I think in this discipline you don't get that, and I think I feel a little bit more equal here than I do in some other disciplines, but that's only my personal preference, I guess.
And what are your future plans?
Ooh, basically just to do it as long as I possibly can, really. I know we've got a really, really good following in Wessex that go to national trophies as well. I've never actually done a national trophy. I don't know why. I think there's a little bit in me that maybe doesn't feel like I've got the ability or the fitness. I'm not sure, but it would be great to be able to carry on and to try these higher levels. I know age is always on everyone's side, isn't on everyone's side, but it would be good to try. I mean, nationals is so fun. We've raced nationals. I did the last two, and it was really, really good. That next level is just so fun and it's exciting. I'd love to be able to race cross for as long as I can. It's not my job, it's not what I do, it's a hobby, I guess, but I still train through the week, and I still do some, riding on, off-road, and to do some touring. We were meant to be going touring this year. We were meant to be going abroad through Europe and doing some bike packing, but sadly we couldn't do that. So that's on hold. So hopefully we will, maybe next year, the year after, do some bike touring as well and try and explore the world on our bikes for as long as we can, really. But when it comes to racing, I think it's so much fun. I need it. It's a bit of a buzz for me. I think that's why it's been sad that we haven't raced as much this year, but completely understandable. I do get it. But I hopefully just enjoy cycling and enjoy cyclocross, really. Keep doing that. That's the plan.
Do you ride online?
No, I don't actually. I have to admit, I'm not a number cruncher. I don't use a Garmin. I don't have, a heart rate monitor. I don't know any of my numbers, so to say. And I know I'd be quite interested in it, but I'm definitely, I go on feel, and there's no wrong in it, definitely not. But it could be quite fun to try it, I think. But no, I'm definitely, I'm one of those ones that doesn't have a clue. For no reason other than I just haven't really got into it all, really. But I suppose I should maybe find out my numbers, but I don't even know any. Whenever we're in whenever I meet up with any of the other women that I ride with, and they start talking all their numbers and FTP and everything, I think I haven't got a clue. I don't know where I'm at. But no, I think riding online, it's definitely got big. There's lots of people I know that wouldn't want to ride outside because they don't feel safe, which I think we all can, to a certain extent. We've all been there. It's all a bit scary, and it gets you into that networking, I guess. It's sort of, I suppose you get that sort of, that sort of social element as well when you haven't been able to ride much with people this year. But no, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll have to get a turbo and do it.
Online racing is excellent.
Yeah?
Thoroughly recommend.
I know, you're big in it, haven't you? Yeah.
I really enjoy it, and I utilise it. So I had a really bad week a few weeks ago. I just felt down, and Friday I was something like, right, I'm going on a race, and I went online and I found an Irish race, and there was a female Irish race, and there was like 10 or 15 of us racing, and it was just brilliant. It picked me up completely ready for the weekend, to be honest.
And I guess as well, you don't get that, as I said, that scariness of turning up to a race, not knowing anyone, where's sign on, you don't have that sort of worry. And I reckon it's more inclusive for people that haven't been in that race environment or don't like the idea of that. I think it's easier to access, isn't it? And like you say, I'll do an Irish one. Like, that's amazing. You know, it means that you haven't got to travel abroad to do all these races that, you know, we'd all love to do. But yeah, you can just do it from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, and be racing against them. And I think it preps people ready for coming out into the real world to race as well, you know, to get their fitness up or whatever, or to realise, you know, how gruelling some racing can be, but without actually
being in it. Yeah, I think as well, we were saying the other day about obviously limited races that we've been doing, and actually you don't push yourself as much as when you're actually in that race environment, whether that be indoors or outdoors. You know, we've all got little training things that we do on the bike. I mean, I'll do sort of half an hour on the watt bike in the gym, nothing exciting, but just interval things. But I wouldn't, even if somebody said, right, go max effort, it will not be the maximum effort I do here on the field, because you don't get that adrenaline as much as, and like you say, like doing Zwift racing and things, the tactics and the going for it, and you know, it's completely different. I don't think anybody will be able to get that full-on effort unless you're racing.
And how important do you think it is for women in particular to race, or to ride their bikes generally?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great for women to ride their bikes. I've, not only from a fitness point of view, but socially as well. I've made some great friends. You know, we turn up here, you know, most Sundays through the winter. Everyone knows each other. There's families involved as well. I've, you know, within my family, you know, I'm always encouraging my friends to ride their bikes as well and to explore, and especially this year as well, where we have been cooped up a lot. And I understand there's some rules where we can go out and we can't. But I think mentally as well, I really need it. And I know a lot of my friends, once they have started going out riding their bikes, they've really liked it, and then they've gone, went out on my bike ride today, or I bought a little second-hand bike off somebody, and it's been so fun, and you know, I went for 2 miles, and it doesn't matter how far you go, you still go out and have an absolutely wonderful time. And my nieces love riding the bike, and they love also like coming and cheering, you know, me on as well. And I really like that they can see me race, and they can see me have fun and make friends with people, and the women's, you know, as well, it's great racing with other women as well, no matter what your ability is. I just absolutely love it. I think it's so fun. I think it's so encouraging when you do have a chat after as well. We have a little race debrief, don't we, and how did it go, and what was the fun bit, or what did you like, what didn't you like. I definitely need it, and I needed that racing buzz this year, get that bit of adrenaline, and I always feel happy, even though this is only our third race this year. I feel better already from even today, you know, feel better about it. I know even my patients at work, you know, I'll go, have you got a bike? Oh, I've got a bike in the shed. Oh, get out on your bike, and, you know, try and encourage them. And there's a lot of women that don't want to do it without their husbands and things, and there's a lot out there through British Cycling for women's only rides, or just actually speaking to other women in your group of friends, like, let's just go for a bike ride, and oh well, I don't know what my partner's doing, who cares, like, let's just go out together, it doesn't matter, you know, you don't need a man to take you around on a bike ride, you know, it's fine, like, let's, you know, even if it's to the shops or to the pub, you know, go for a little pub ride or just to a cafe. And I think the more people see women riding in a group, I think it will encourage more women to ride in groups, definitely. I think even just this year I've noticed so many more of my friends or people that I know getting the bike out the shed. And, you know, so many people have a bike at home, don't they? But nobody really wants to ride them by themselves, I don't think. Especially women starting out. So, like I said, a lot of my friends have basically said, let's all meet up and go for a ride. Take a bit more encouraging, but I think hopefully more women will do it. I hope so. They should. They just should. It's just amazing.
I think some feel intimidated. I do get some say, oh, I'll never keep up with you. And it's like,
yeah,
I just want company. I don't mind going. If I want the effort, I'll hit the turbo, you know, or I'll go out on my own as well.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to come with me, not because I want to smash you on every hill, but
no,
because I just want some company to go out riding.
Yeah. I think that people just want to go. I want to go for a chat. I want to go and have a chinwag. And there's lots of, again, friends that I know through cycling, even just from like an old group that we used to go out for a ride with. I'll be friends with them for life. And exactly, we go out for a ride no matter what our ability is. And actually, half the time, you don't know what speed you're going along. You don't know how, because you're just having a chat. And it's so fun and it's great. And, you know, put the world to rights. And it's really, really good fun. And I think we wouldn't do that if we hadn't been together, all different abilities anyway. Like I say, I think because we do that racing and we have that racing background, I think sometimes people expect that from us the whole time. It doesn't matter. I mean, my mum rides her bike and we commute. We're quite lucky that we work together, and we commute on a Friday, and she always, you know, she's actually looking to get an e-bike because she said, I might be able to go a little bit faster with you, but there's no race. We, you know, it doesn't matter what ability, we commute together. It's good fun. We have a good little talk on the way to work. It's only 10 minutes down the road, so we're quite lucky really, but yeah, it's a good little 10 minutes to just, morning, how have you been, you know. And I think we wouldn't do that if we both drove to work. So I think not everyone that's a racer wants to race all the time. I think that's the message really. And if you know somebody that's got a bike, another woman that's got a bike and isn't going out on it, and nor are you, come together and go for a ride. You've only got to go around the block or something, you know, ride to a park, sit down, have a chat and then ride back. I don't know, that's my view.
I think the talk of how good things like this are for your mental health, for your, you know, general well-being has definitely come out this year, and which has been great. That discussion happening a lot more, a potentially taboo subject being chatted about. Definitely,
I think there's lots of people again through work that I've spoke with, and they have said, you know, they're really, really struggling this year. And when you delve a little bit deeper, it's being stuck inside, you know, looking at the same four walls. You know, I'm working from home now, I'm not, you know, commuting, or I'm not in my normal routine. But if we can find sort of half an hour in the evenings or even in the mornings to get outside, whether that be walking, cycling, you know, exploring new places. I mean, even this year with the limited racing, it's then meant that we've got the weekends to go and explore, and we've found so many new bridleways and just new places that we've never been, literally on our doorstep, that we probably wouldn't have explored if we hadn't sort of had that push to, right, come on, there's nothing else to do, nothing else is open, let's go outside. There's so many studies that going outside and getting fresh air is so good for you. It really, really is. And exploring, I think it's good as well. Not many people know what's around them. There's so many people that have found new places, new roads, new villages, new and actually new small businesses, new pubs, new restaurants, new cafes and things by just going out and just looking around. Going from, and I think the bonus of being on a bike is that you can get further in a shorter space of time as well. So that's then that's why I think cycling is a little bit better. But it doesn't matter what you're doing, just getting out and exploring a little bit more. I've definitely noticed sometimes the motivation is a little bit hard. We all know what we should and shouldn't do. We know we should eat better. We know we should exercise more. But it's actually doing it. And I think once you then get going and you then do it and you go out, within 5 minutes, everyone I know that cycles feels better. Definitely, but that's how I feel. I don't. That's not, I suppose, nothing down to statistics or anything. But that's my personal how I feel, definitely, and how other people I know, you know, I know they feel better once they've done it.
I think it's you just got to go on what you know, haven't you? What feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat a day like today when we rocked up and the sun was shining.
Yeah.
You just thought it's going to be a good day racing, you know. Even if I fell off. You know.
Yeah.
But,
I fell off in practice twice merely because it was just I was going about 2 miles an hour, but my foot wouldn't unclip, and we've all had that as well. The worry of, oh God, don't clip in, you're going to fall over. I fell on grass at 2 miles an hour. Didn't hurt myself. I had a little laugh. It was fine. You know, it was all right. And I think, like you say, we've turned up, we've raced, we've had a good fun, we've had a good debrief, we've seen loads of other people that we haven't seen in ages. It's safe as well. Everyone's sort of supporting everyone. And we'll go home and we'll feel great, and we've had a good day. I think it's definitely a good day to be had coming to cross. Again, personal preference. Anyway, I'm probably a bit biased, but I think it's great. What would I have done today? Sat at home and not really done much. You know, sit at home and watch the telly. You know, I'd rather get out on my bike, really, to be honest.
I didn't find cycling till after I had kids, but we did. My husband and I, well, we bought a house and renovated a house in our 20s, but we did spend a lot of our 20s sitting around watching TV, particularly at the weekends, right? Because we didn't really have any hobbies, and we now think what a waste that was, and how much easier it would have been pre-children to have been into the things we're doing. So I do envy you found it sooner. Just trying to get that message to people that this is an option, and actually it may look like quite hard work, and you may think your bum's going to hurt, but you know what, there are women doing shaped saddles and chamois and all.
Oh god, definitely, there's so much, and actually one size does not fit all. It's like anything really. I mean, I know we've in theory, although we got into it in our 20s, there are people that, you know, like young children like yours that will grow up in this wonderful environment knowing that this is good and this is the norm. This isn't, that men and women compete together, they can be the same level, they can, if they push for something, and they can have a really fun hobby. That's great. I absolutely love that. And actually there's a bit of me that thinks, oh god, I wish I'd got into this when I was a lot younger. And I did, like I said, a lot of sport when I was younger in school and things, but never the cycling. And yeah, maybe I did need a bit of encouraging from my husband to maybe start doing it. But if I knew that there was a few more platforms for women to do it, I probably, because of the sporting background, probably would have done it. I probably would have. But that being said, there's also women that I know that have never cycled, or did when they were younger, and haven't cycled for years, and then 40s, 50s found, go ride groups, or again had people like us encouraging them to cycle, and they've done it again, and then some people have had their first races in their 50s. That's great. It doesn't matter then what age you are, because you've still found it, and actually some people have some really nice long racing careers doing that. And that's why nationals and the national trophies are so good. You've still got those age categories where you can be in 40s, 50s, 60s and still race. That's great. You don't get that in many sports. There's some sports people retire in their 20s, their 30s. You can race, you can cycle and race for ages, basically until you decide not to. There's loads of videos, isn't there, of lots of old couples that are going around on tandem still, and a lot of women that are going around touring and things. There's a lot of, in bike packing world and things, the background of where people have been doing it for years and years and years. And there's loads of old history books that we've got at home of old bike packing, through Europe and in sort of the 1920s and 30s and things. It's amazing. It's so good. But we just don't know. We didn't know enough about it then, I don't think. Now, I think if we give it a good kick up there, and then more people will do it, won't they? Hopefully, anyway. But I'm pleased when I see lots of children doing it as well, and definitely the new generation coming in, and especially this discipline. It's growing. More people are knowing about it, and it's a good one to be in, I think, as well. It's definitely more inclusive. Again, personal preference. That biased side of me. But no, I'm all for it. All for it.
And what do you watch much competitive, like high level cyclocross and road racing and things? Are you a supporter as well as a participant?
Yeah, definitely. We've been to Worlds, Worlds, Cross Worlds. Oh my god, absolutely amazing. It's the best weekend. It's so fun. We watch it online as well, so we'll watch a lot of the cross as well, especially the big ones. I mean, unfortunately when we're racing on days like today when there's big races going on, but we'll always catch up. We'll even go back and watch some of the old races. They're still so fun to watch. It's a great spectator sport, definitely. We'll watch the big tours and things as well, and try and, again, when they're on telly or when we can catch up on them online, we'll definitely we catch up on them. But we've never been to watch any road cycling, which hopefully we were going to try and tie in on our little tour this year, so maybe next year that'll be something we can tie in. But cross, if you want to go and watch a sport, that is the best thing to do. Definitely, it's absolutely wonderful. It's really good fun. I mean, it's fun just spectating the level races, but that is just next level. It's absolutely amazing. I would encourage anybody that races cross to go and watch either Worlds or one of the European races, definitely.
And do you think they've nailed parity over there, when male and female?
It's difficult because I suppose we only see what's on sort of the other, what's on being aired to us, but there's lots of articles about pay and everything, and I don't know personally. I'm not sure. And I suppose the high level stuff, it's whether cross and whether some of the different tours have got different levels of sort of support. Or some are big, like Tour de France, massive. People who don't cycle know Tour de France, but they wouldn't know sort of the World Cup cyclo-cross. They wouldn't know about any of those races and whether that money's being put into it. I think, like I said, reading about obviously who gets paid for what. I don't know if it's there yet. I don't know, but hopefully it will one day. I think there's a lot more coming out. We know a lot more about it. It used to be that nobody knew anything about who was getting paid what and what's happening. I think hopefully the more we learn about it and the more we become aware about it, I think they'll have to change.
Yeah, pay's a really difficult area in any profession, isn't it? Because people don't want to talk about what they're earning or what they're not earning. But a lot of the regulation changes in the UK of what women are being paid v men, that's starting to come through. And if we can see that in sport, it's going to open people's eyes. Definitely.
And I think it shouldn't be an embarrassing thing to talk to people about. And, you know, here in Wessex, we get the same prize money as the men. That's great. There's no questioning that. Nobody feels awkward talking to anyone. Oh, if somebody said, how much did you win today? I would say, because actually the more we talk about it, you know who's doing what. You know if you're on a level field or not. I think we need to be bringing up those conversations, and we need to not make it awkward. You know, it shouldn't be a taboo subject on what people are earning and, you know, what women are earning versus what the men are earning. If you say about it, we know, you need to voice it a bit more. And I think there's a lot of leagues like us that are starting to do that, and I think it's good. There's no reason why we shouldn't be earning any less or doing any less.
And any more thoughts on? I think we're going to be joined by people.
So they look like they've had a good race, that's for sure. Yeah.
Any more thoughts on women in cycling?
Just do it. If you really, really just.
You can't still be talking.
I'm a chinwagger, sorry. See, that's the fun support you get here. No, I think if you've got that little bit in doubt where you think, oh, should I, shouldn't I, just do it. I was exactly the same before my first race. I absolutely was so worried. I was practicing dismounting and remounting on the little field next to the course 100 times, and it made no difference. As soon as the whistle went and I carried on, it was so fun straight away. I think if you've gone into it, just do it. There's no doubt at all. Just crack on and go for it. I think the more women do it, the more we realise we'll back each other up. We've always had that first time where we've got to do it. And everyone's worried the first time, but after that, you're fine. Just go for it.
I love those closing words. Just go for it. That's what it's all about. I also really liked her comments about cycling to work with her mum. I think that's really lovely that she has the ability to do that. Maybe if you have a short drive to work that could become a cycle to work, give it a try just once and see how it feels. Having the time to have some headspace and also the exercise and the fresh air is a great way to start the day. I really also liked her comments on company on rides. That is something that I think people can be intimidated if they think, well, you race, therefore you're going to want to race everywhere. We certainly don't want to race everywhere. We want company and we want to inspire other people. So don't be intimidated if a cyclist who does race asks you to come out on a ride. It's really that they just want company. I hope you enjoyed it all today, and I shall be back with episode 3 soon. Take care. Bye.